So does all of you listening out there, are you even aware that Bucky Irving is having an MRI on I don't even know what the injury is.
Ankle.
His ankle? Okay. It was a really sneaky one, but it changes the waiver wire quite a bit.
I honestly, I wrote an entire column yesterday about injuries and waiver wire ads and drops, etc., and did not know until Adam texted me this morning, which I thought was a joke because I was sending him jokes this morning, which I thought was a joke. That is Sean Tucker your second waiver wire priority? And to the point where, not knowing this, I struggle with players to drop, just full disclosure. When you read the column, I struggle with players to list as drops. I had Rachaad White listed as drop.
Yeah.
Just because 3 of the 4 games he's been somewhat non-existent. Had 4 catches last week, and so quickly had to change that clearly, and adding Sean Tucker. So there was a lot of additions. So if anybody is keeping up timeline, I send the column. We post the column usually Monday afternoon. And with the 2 Monday night games, the Tyreek Hill injury, there were a lot of updates to that, and then updates with the Sean Tucker stuff this morning. So if you read it at some point yesterday, please go back and read it, because Darren Waller's now a big priority, and Sean Tucker's now a big priority, and Mason Taylor's a priority. And so anything that happened post about 4 o'clock yesterday has been added.
And Rachaad White is about 75% rostered in CBS Sports leagues, but he's 41% on Yahoo. He's 48% on ESPN. I'm going to look up Sleeper in a minute too. But yeah, so the Bucs running back situation is definitely one we're looking at. My question is, I'm not trying to poo-poo the other guys. My question is, would you prioritize White and Tucker over them, just because you've at least got a chance for a must-start player, even if we don't know anything later today about the severity of Bucky Irving's injury?
So again, this is where it comes down to what site you're playing on, and the kind of the rules we play with here when we talk about waiver ads. So Rachaad White would probably be 1A if he's available in terms of what you're looking to add, because if he starts for 1 week, even in a matchup against Seattle where it's not going to be easy for him, I mean, this is a guy that's proven to be very involved in the passing game, just coming off a game where they got 4 receptions. This is still a receiving core that's still in flux because of no Mike Evans. And, we don't know what Chris Godwin will look like coming off of a game where he played a lot of snaps. How healthy will he be? Is he going to recover enough first game action, really first action at all since, his injury last year? So, yes, I think Rachaad White is definitely somebody. Tucker's a little bit tougher to trust because we saw him looked amazing in week 6 last year when there was no Rachaad White. But at the time, White was the starter. Bucky was not really the featured guy. They worked in tandem together, and Tucker went nuts for 136 rushing yards, 56 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. So is that what's going to happen? Is he going to be the primary, ball carrier, and they're going to use White on passing down? So it's a little bit tricky to trust.
Rachaad White. Rachaad White would be a huge priority. And if Bucky Irving were to miss time, who do you think would lead the team in carries? Why am I even talking about Sean Tucker? Well, Jamie sort of mentioned it. Bucky Irving didn't miss any time last year, but Rachaad White did miss the 1 game. And in that game, the stats were Sean Tucker, 14 carries, 136 yards and a touchdown, plus 3 catches, 56 yards and a touchdown. Just 192 total yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches. Bucky Irving also had 14 carries, 81 yards and a touchdown, and 2 catches. It was against the Saints. They were the worst run defense in football at the time, and they destroyed them 51-27. But Tucker basically was dusted off and used as a lead running back, same amount of carries as Bucky. So that's why I keep mentioning him. So if Bucky Irving were to miss any time, who's the lead running back, do you think, for Tampa Bay?
I think it'll eventually be Tucker. I just think he's the faster one. Maybe not necessarily as versatile. You can't use him in the passing game as well as you can with Rachaad White. And Rachaad White's look good, but I think Sean Tucker would be better.
I think Rachaad White will be the best fantasy running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if Bucky Irving's out, because of his role in the passing game and how this game will probably unfold.
Okay, but as far as carries go?
I mean, you go back to that game last year, it was 13. It was 14 for both of them.
Yeah.
Right. So but
that wasn't Rachaad White. That was him and Bucky Irving.
Right. And that was before Bucky became Bucky. And so I think just knowing how Todd Bowles probably operates, different office coordinator, clearly, that they're going to still lean on on Rachaad White. Now, Tucker may run the ball better because we know Rachaad White tends to struggle sometimes in that regard, but this is a beat up offensive line. Like, I want the passing downs back in this situation. I do not want the rushing downs back. And what you saw from Bucky Irving in the game against Philadelphia was the passing downs work was certainly much more important. So I do think Tucker's worth picking up. We don't know how long Bucky may be out, if he's going to be out at all. Remember, he finished the game against the Eagles. And so hopefully it's just, precautionary. They want to make sure he's 100%. It doesn't seem as if he's going to miss time, it could be long-term. Again, that's saying it without knowing what the results of the MRI are. So that's just me speculating. But I would hope at this point that Rachaad White has earned enough, shown enough, deserves enough for a guy going into a contract year that he gets the work in all facets of the game. But in the case of just who we're picking up at this point, on our site, you're going to find Sean Tucker available in 97% of leagues. You're going to find Rachaad White available in 21%.
And I'll just say that, you said you want the passing downs back. But Bucky Irving has 19 catches on 19 targets this year. He does not have a single target on third down. So that is the passing down is every down for them. So that I think and Sean Tucker had 5 catches in that game last year. So, you don't have
3.
To be Bucky had 3. I thought Tucker had
3 for 57.
Oh, he had 3. I'm
Didn't
sorry.
You just say 3?
Yeah, I combined that. I added 3 plus 2 and I made 5. All right, how much fab for Rachaad White if he were available, and how about for Sean Tucker?
So again, it's a similar conversation, because if you need to win and you need to buy yourself a win, you spend and figure out the rest. And so you're sub 500. You don't want to have your I don't want to be. So what are we? We're on week 5. I don't want to be 1-4 if I lose this week, and hey, I got 80% of my fab left. But if I know that Rachaad White is going to be the guy, and I got to spend 50% of my fab to do so, and now I'm 2-3 coming out of week 5. Well, I still got a chance to be competitive in my league. Then I'm going to do it. So it just, I think, depends on your situation. But I will probably have Rachaad White ranked higher than Woody Marks if Bucky Irving's out.
So that's the whole thing, is the if Bucky Irving's out. And as we record this, we don't know if Bucky Irving's out. We don't know how bad it's going to be. Getting an MRI isn't a good thing, but we don't know if he's going to miss a game, a month, no games. He might play this week. And so if you're spending 50% to get one of these Bucks running backs, it could backfire. If you're 1-4 and you spend 50% of your fab and Bucky Irving shows up ready to play on Sunday, that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be a lot more careful. I'd almost put in low ball bids compared to 50% of the fab for one of the Bucks guys, unless we hear on before your waivers run Tuesday night or whatever, Bucky Irving's going to miss some time. And then, yes, of course, spend what you have to spend to get Rachaad White and a little bit less on Sean Tucker.
Okay. Yeah, right. I really hope for everyone's sake that we get some update on this on Tuesday. I suspect we will. I'm going to make my waiver claims. We have a show on CBS Sports Network today at 1 p.m., every Tuesday, 1 p.m. And I always do pretty much all of my waivers claims and fab bids at that point. And I looked at all of my leagues, and Rachaad White is rostered in every single one of my leagues, including my 10-team leagues. But if he were available, I would probably be in the 15 to 20%. And I don't really think it's that much different with Bucky Irving. I'll probably put in, right now, without knowing anything, I'll probably put in $12 bids, something like that. For Bucky. I'm sorry, for Tucker.
For Tucker?
Mm-hmm. I just think there's so much upside. There's so much potential for Tucker if Bucky misses time, but also if I lose $12 and Bucky Irving plays this week, it's not the end of the world. That's kind of the approach I'm taking. But you know what? By the time people hear this, you might have more information. So I'm going to move on.
Tucker is the one that's going to sway a lot of this, because, and I'm just reading the chat, Woody Marks, we told people last week to pick him up.
Yes.
Is the sharp leagues he's already rostered. We are talking to a wide audience, clearly, because of what the numbers are. But when you're talking about Sean Tucker, and this was news to us, this is going to be news to a lot of people, that Bucky may miss time. And I think you guys said it best. There's an if to this, but that's what happens with waivers a lot. We're going to say, go get, even last week, I had Mariota as the number 1 quarterback tag. We didn't know Jayden Daniels was even going to be out.
And someone's saying, Tucker, really? It's clearly White next in line. Yeah, look, I'd prioritize White, but I think it's possible that they keep White in the role he has, give him some more carries, but they definitely get Sean Tucker involved. Right? I mean, we kind of feel like Sean Tucker's definitely going to be involved if Bucky's out.
Oh, they will definitely use both guys. There's no doubt about
this because I don't want to spend the whole show on a scenario that might not even play out. But Tucker's gonna have a role. We're confident in that.
He's gonna have a role, but it won't be. I don't think it'll be the same type of role that Bucky's had. So I think you're right, Adam, that you'll see a little bit more of Rachaad White getting some carries along with Tucker. I also don't know how popular the Bucs running backs are going to be off the waiver wire compared to Woody Marks. Because yes, every team that is desperate for running back help will go after Woody Marks. But even the teams that have 2 good starting running backs and they just want to add depth, they're going to make a play for Woody Marks too. He's going to be way more popular than those Bucs guys. So you shouldn't have to spend nearly as much to get either Tampa Bay running back as you should Woody.
Okay. And now I
find out that Bucky's out for extended period of
time. That's the only thing that could sway that. Yes.
I think if we
find out, have to be out for a while. It's not going to be just one game.
All right, listen.
You hear about him going on.
Pledge. Here's my pledge. If we find out information on Bucky Irving today, other than he's day to day or something like that, he's going on IR or something like that. If it's just me, whatever, we'll do a bonus podcast.
Yes.
Good idea. I think we owe that to everybody to help you out. So just be on the lookout for it.